Hey everyone. So it's been a while since I've recorded a video, but I really want to be consistent with these and provide you with as much insight as I can about being a nurse. And so decided to hop on today. It's been about a week since I've posted something or recorded. So hello again. I'm actually working from home today because, as I said in a previous video, I'm a school nurse. And as you all know, we're in the middle of a global pandemic and our cases are getting out of control here in Arkansas, here in the United States in general. And so we've just had so many cases that have happened in the school with students and employees that they finally made the decision to just go ahead and go completely virtual for the remainder of this semester. So, and we were actually just a week and a half out from semester. Well, next week was semester exams, and then the next week was going to be winter break. So they just went ahead and made the call to just go virtual until winter break and then start fresh in 2021, which I think ultimately it was the best call. After Thanksgiving break, it's like the cases skyrocketed as we expected them to. And so initially, and it was honestly students and employees that were either exposed, testing positive, or they tested positive, the student or the employee, or they were just having symptoms and didn't want to come to school, and just in case they were possibly infected. So it's been busy at work. So it's nice to kind of have a day to just kind of decompress and work from home. But, my heart just kind of goes out to my students that, don't have the best home life and that are struggling virtually, because it's a lot of them that are just not doing well learning from home. And, I was thinking about, and most of my students are Black and brown, so they look like me. And a lot of them just don't have good home situations. And I was thinking about this morning how, a lot of people don't know what it's like to be Black, and a lot of people don't know what it's like to not be loved, to come from a home that there is no love, and that your parents don't necessarily care about you, or your parents may be deceased and the person that's your guardian doesn't care about you. But that's the reality for a lot of my students. So even though, I'm enjoying this day to decompress, it's just like you can't. I just feel bad for a lot of my students, because that's their reality, and school is their safe haven. So, hopefully we'll be able to come back and we'll be able to stay in school. This is our third time being out. So it's been hard. And every time that we've been out for 2 weeks. But this time they'll be out for an entire month, because we were going into Christmas break, and Christmas break is 2 weeks. So if you believe in God and you pray, just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And if you have a kiddo that's doing virtual, then you understand that it's different. It's a challenge. So just a different year. Like I tell them, it's just different. This is different. So that is not initially what my video was about, but I actually kind of wanted to talk to you all today about nursing pay, which kind of ties into this, because if you know anything about school nursing, school nurses do not get paid a lot of money at all. So I actually, when I was working in the hospital, and I wasn't really a big overtime person. My last year working in the hospital, I think I just had gotten to the point where I was burnt out. So I would just do my 3 shifts and I would skedaddle. Don't even think about calling me and asking me, do I want to work a shift? Because the answer is no. And that's what they got to the point of. They'd be like, oh, we ain't even going to text Maggie because we know she ain't coming in. But so I would work 3 shifts, and 3 shifts a week, not really any overtime my last year of nursing. And so, but before I get into what I ended making, let me start with what I started with, like a brand new nurse straight out of nursing school. So, and even before I start with that, so if you are breathing, you know that people think that nurses make tons of money. And I remember even thinking that before going into nursing school. And I'm not going to lie, that is one of the reasons why, not the main reason, it was like low on my list of reasons why I wanted to go to nursing school, but it was one of the reasons why I wanted to go, because I knew that they made good money. And I had a cousin, she's an older cousin, she's like in her 70s now, but she would always talk to me about nursing, and she would always just be really transparent about how much money she made. And even my grandmother, when she was living, she'd be like, Eloise, she makes all this money. And come to find out, and this was at the end of her career, because she was an ICU nurse for like 30 plus years, probably 40 years, and her ending salary was like 108,000 a year. But at that time, when I'm hearing those numbers, because of course when you hear six figures, you're like, oh my God, like, are you serious? You're a nurse and you make that much money? But the caveat to that was she was working 6 days a week, which I didn't even realize at the time. But all you hear is, you know, that number, that dollar figure, and you don't understand what comes with that. So yeah, she was making $108,000, which it might have even been more than that. That's just the number I think I remember her saying. She might have said 118. I don't know, but it was six figures for sure. But at that time, I didn't realize that she was working 6 days a week, and not 6 days a week as in an 8-hour shift. She was working 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts. So she had one job at one hospital that she was just regular, full-time, 3 days, 36 hours. And then she was working at another hospital, 3 days a week, 36 hours. So combined, so working two jobs. And I'm sure at one of the jobs she was getting PRN pay instead of, just your flat rate when you're an employee and you're getting benefits and everything taken out. So that's kind of what brought her all the way up to the top, which was very impressive because she was in her 60s when she retired, working 6 days a week. So made good money, has a lot of money, is enjoying retirement money wise, but she is broke down. I mean, 30, 40 years in the ICU, pushing, pulling, turning, running, doing codes, doing compressions, it wears you down. It wears on your body. I was only in bedside for 3 years and I'm broke down. Okay, I was limping yesterday. So yeah, she walked away making a ton of money, has a ton of money, will go into retirement comfortable, but she's so burnt out and broke down that she was like, shortly after she came out of retirement, they were offering, they really needed a nurse somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but they called her to come down there. They were offering her almost $100 an hour to come do this job. I can't remember what job it was, but she had just had enough. She was just, like I said, so broke down that, I mean, the money, it wasn't even worth it. And when she was, and this was all, y'all, this was all pre-nursing. And I could not understand why she would walk away from a job that was paying her that was going to be paying her almost $100 an hour. I could not fathom that. But now, y'all, that I am in it, now that I have, I'm still a nurse, but I'm not on the bed in the bedside. So now that I was in it, and now that I'm out of it, I get it. I understand it, because it is levels to this. It's not like you're making $100 and you're sitting at home answering phone calls. You are literally standing between somebody living and somebody dying. And with that comes a lot of stress. And sometimes you are just you just can't take it anymore. And that no matter how much money they're offering, you walk away. So let's talk about money. So but I just at least wanted to say that because I think that that's relevant, and that a lot of people don't understand the context of nursing and the money that comes with it, because there can be a lot of money that comes with it. So like I said, that was at the end of her career. She was making six figures, and when she was getting offered almost $100 an hour to come work at this place. So when I graduated from nursing school, actually when we were in nursing school, so like I said in a previous video, they were coming and they were talking to us, trying to recruit us. And the nursing school that I went to, it was, it's like the #1 hospital, like the biggest hospital in the state of Arkansas. So this is their nursing school. So it was, it's the hospital's nursing school. So of course they're going to recruit within their nursing school for you to come work at their hospital. So they were talking to us in October 2017, and maybe even a little bit before then, maybe like August, September, they were coming to talk to us. I accepted my job in October. And this is 2017, so our last semester of nursing school. And then we graduated in December. So they came like 4 or 5 months earlier, just trying to recruit us. And so when they were recruiting us, they told us how much we would be making an hour. And when I say I almost fell out of my seat, because I could not believe it. Because by that time we had gone through a year of nursing school, and nursing school is no joke. Like, it is and like I said it before in a previous video, I have had lots of education. And not to brag at all, but I have a bachelor's, I have a master's, I have gone through a rigorous internship related to being a dietitian. So I'm not saying this is not coming from somebody that has not endured some challenges and some things. I have had a lot of education, and nursing school is by far the hardest thing that I've ever done. And this was an associate's program. So it wasn't even like a BSN or a master's program. It was literally an associate's program. So, so we had gone through all that and had a lot more to go. And they told us that our starting salary, because you're paid per hour. You're not paid a salary, you're paid per hour. Our starting per hour rate would be $19.10. Y'all, when I heard that, I wanted to pass out. I wanted to walk out of there then. Because I'm like, all this and we're getting paid $19.10? I just was just deflated. I just had so many emotions. I was angry, I was upset, I was sad. I just had a lot of emotions when I heard that. And a lot of other people did too, because they were thinking the same thing that I was thinking, that we were going to walk out of this and be ballers. We were going to walk out of this program and be balling out of control. But that was not the case. So $19.10 is what the starting rate was. Now, people like me that had some type of healthcare background, so people that worked as CNAs or that worked in a hospital like prior to coming to nursing school, they were able to come in at a higher rate. So for me, before I was a dietitian, I actually worked at a clinic, a cardiology clinic, and I just did like clerical stuff. I was like front desk. I did medical records. I just kind of was a floater. And so, but I worked there right after I graduated high school, and I worked there all through college, all while I was getting my bachelor's degree. And I only quit like when I went to go do my internship at UAMS, because I just wouldn't be able to balance it. Oh no, you know what? No, I worked another year after that. So I worked there for almost 5 years at that clinic. So they honored that and gave me and put that on as my experience. But that only took me so I said the starting was $19.10. So that only took me my 5 years of experience at working at a cardiology clinic. That took me to $20, and I used to have it memorized how much it was. I want to say it was $20.35. So I came out of nursing school making $20.35 an hour. And so, dang, I wish I had a calculator. Hold on, y'all. Let me find a calculator so I can calculate this. Oh, here's one. So $20, and I'm pretty sure it was $20.35. So 20.35. So you work 36 hours. So I was making $732.60 a week. So I was making $1,465.50 every 2 weeks. That don't seem right. Y'all, that don't seem right. I feel like I wasn't making that much. But I wasn't making that much. Because by the time you take out taxes, and by the time you take out taxes, by the time you take out benefits, by the time you take out, is that it? Taxes, benefits, FICA, Social Security. So that was probably like, and I'm single, so with no kids, so I'm in the highest tax bracket. So I'm pretty sure I was getting like $400 out a pay period. So this is what I was pretty much going home with. I remember it was about that. It was about $1,065, probably a little bit lower. So because there's some hospitals that will just go ahead and bump you over to the 40 hours instead of just doing you at 36. But not this hospital that I was working at. You gonna work for every coin you receive. Okay. So that was, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed because, and mind you, I had an aunt that told me that she made $108,000. So when I heard $19.10, and then when I saw my first paycheck, like pretty much $1,000, and so I said 1,065. So what is that? Every 2 weeks, you get paid every 2 weeks. It's 52 weeks in a year, right? So 26 pay periods. So 1,065. Y'all, that can't be right. That's all I was making. So when I did the 1,065 by 26, it was $27,690. But now that I think about it, that probably was correct. It had to be correct. If I was making $20.35, it just seems so low. I'm like, starting from the bottom, now we here. $20. Look, $20.35 times 36. Yeah, times 2. But that was pre-tax, of course. But if I do it before tax, before benefits, and I do it by the 26, that's $38,095.20. So I was making, without any overtime, just basic, just no overtime. And like I said, I'm single. I have no children. I'm in the highest tax bracket. So before tax, I was making almost $40,000, about 38, according to that. And then after, I was making less than 30. So that can be very discouraging, especially if that's what you went into nursing for. If you went into it just for the money, that can be very discouraging when you hear what you're really going to be making. And at that time in 2017, that was pretty much kind of across the board that nurses were starting with that. But I will say this. I will say that, look, God is good. And over the course of my 3-year career, I was able to get raises and little small raises. So, and I got a signing bonus when I signed on and that's what drew a lot of people in, is the signing bonus and the fact that with my signing bonus, so it was kind of some caveats to it. So I got a $5,000 signing bonus, and but it was a 2-year commitment. So for a 2-year commitment, you started at $19.10. You got a $5,000 signing bonus, and then if you stayed for 6 months, you were able to get like a 6% raise. So that brought you up like $1.50. And then if you stayed another 6 months, you got like another 6% raise. And then so that brought you up another dollar. And then it was something else that was with that. Now I can't remember. It was something else with that contract though. But like I said, it was 2 year commitment. And if you broke the contract before then you had to pay it back. So that's what got a lot of people in, was even though they heard the $19.10, they heard the $5,000, and I think they paid the taxes on that for us. So I think we got straight $5,000. So, that was a big draw in. But also at the same, and I'm gonna have to do another video on that, because if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't sign a contract. Now it ended up working out for me because I stayed for 3 years as opposed to 2 years. But I would not sign a contract with anyone again. But that's just me. I think you have to do what works best for you, but I would not sign another contract again. But anyway, so I started at $20.35. And then I moved up to like 21 something. I think it was like 21.25. And then I moved up to 22. And then something happened. I think we got maybe my second year, the whole hospital got a little 6% raise. And so that took me to 24. And then shortly before I left, they gave us another raise, and that took me to 25. So I ended my nursing career in the hospital at $25.25. So I started at $20.35 and I ended at $25.25. And so that changed. So $25.25 times 36. Now you're at $909 every week times 2. So now you're at $18.18. So I took home a lot more. And then when I moved to CCU or the ICU, I did night shift. So that bumped me up, because it was like a $4.50 on weekdays, increase in your pay per hour. And then on weekends, it was $7.50 an hour, $7.50 an hour. So some days on the weekends I was making $30. And so that I was balling when I was working night shift. So or in my mind I was balling. But it wasn't worth it for me. And so I ended up, when I was able to, I switched back over to day shift. And so I was balling out of control for a little while, and then I went back to day shift, and then I wasn't balling anymore. So, and that's another video. That's probably another good video. Should you do night shift or should you do day shift? And honestly, it's your preference. I could not hang with night shift. I loved everything about it though. I loved the vibe of night shift. I liked the people on night shift. I liked, during night shift, you're not waking anybody up. The people that are on your vents and sedated, we ain't doing no wake up trials. You staying asleep all night, and don't you cough or do something crazy, because your propofol, I'm turning it all the way up. So yeah, I loved everything about night shift, but it's just I couldn't sleep, and I was not a pleasant person. So felt like I needed to make the transition when it was. But on my unit, all the new people had to do night shift, so that was just something everybody did. It was not my choice. But yeah, so I did night shift for about 6 months, and I wouldn't go back. Even though I missed it, I wouldn't go back. But anyway, so what was I saying? So started my career at $20.35. Most of my peers though started at $19.10, because pretty much everybody went to work at the hospital that we went to nursing school at. Ended at $25.25. Now, something that, initially when I started my career, I did do a lot of overtime. I would work 4 days a week. And something that my hospital did, which I'm sure is something that a lot of people, I think you've got a couple of options to make more money. So you either pick up a PRN gig somewhere else. And usually from what I've seen, like my little PRN job now, it's $35 an hour. But if I work on the weekends, it's $3 an hour. and $3 extra an hour, so I'm at 38. And then if it's crisis pay, that's an additional which we're in a crisis right now, so it's an additional $15. So if I go on the weekend, and I get the crisis pay, then that's 53 an hour. Yeah, 53 an hour. So that's going to be your best way to make additional money, is to get a PRN gig somewhere else and take advantage of that, because they're not paying you any benefits. Now, of course, if it's a 12-hour shift, then it does make for a long week. Working 4 12s a week. Or even if you're in the situation that I'm in, where you're working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then on a Saturday going to work a 12-hour shift, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, but it is a way if you do need additional money. And how nurses make so much money that don't do travel nursing. That's a whole nother video. But that's one way to get money. Get extra money, is to get a side job, a PRN job, and just get one that's, offering you a pretty big hourly rate. But like I said, and if I'm in Arkansas, I can assume that other places it's probably a lot more. But 35 is about the rate going around here. Or at the hospital that I worked at, if you had at least 1 year of experience at the hospital in that unit, you could do what's called Job 2. And so Job 2 was basically on your 4th day of working. So outside of your 36 hours, so on that 4th day of working, they would pay you like $32 an hour, I think. Yeah, so they would pay you $32 an hour. $32 an hour to work basically overtime. So, and I think it was to help like discourage people from going and finding other PRN jobs, like to keep it in-house. And I mean, it worked, because a lot of people, instead of trying to go out and find another job, it was just easier just to pick up another day in your unit where you work, for 32. And like I said, the going rate right around where I am is 35. And so it just made sense for a lot of people to just do that. But like I said, the caveat was you had to be in that unit at that hospital for at least a year before you were eligible for Job 2. But that would boost you up tremendously. So when I initially started, before I was like, I'm not doing any more overtime. Like, don't call me, nothing. That 4th day. So if it was 32 times 12, so that was an additional so that would be $384 for that shift. Whereas when I was making, we'll just go with the 25. Oh no. That's not. We'll say like when I first started getting Job 2, I was probably making like $24 an hour. So it was almost like a extra $100. But a lot of people were burnt out with working in the unit, and so they wanted a change of scenery. So, but the decision is totally yours. But that's the best way to make more money, of course, is to work overtime. But I think that's totally your decision. But just know, just being a brand new nurse, coming out of nursing school, walking right onto the floor, you're not going to be making a lot of money. You're just simply not going to be making a lot of money. You honestly have to work your way up to making money. And a lot of people, and like I said before, a lot of people get that additional money by getting a PRN job, or if they get something like what my hospital did. But also travel nursing is a way out for a lot of people, and a way to get a lot more money. So I actually did travel nursing. I've done one assignment, and I actually went, so I'm from Arkansas, that's where I am now, and I actually went out to California, LA, Los Angeles, and I took a travel nurse assignment. And so that has literally been the most money I have ever made in my life. And I know if I would have continued doing it, because now they're offering like, I still get emails, and they're offering like $6,000 a week right now, because we're in a crisis, to come out and do a travel nurse assignment. But the way I'm built right now, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. And a lot of those contracts, it's a 4-day minimum. And so, and a lot of them are night shift because they need night shift people. So, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. But anyway, so little baby Maggie started at $19.10. And then when I was travel nursing, I was making almost $2,000 a week. So you do the math, 13 weeks, almost $2,000 a week. And then on holidays, I was getting paid like 80 an hour. Baby, living the life. I'm gonna have to do a separate video on that because that's worth discussing, and I think it's something we don't talk about enough in the nursing community. Because it's money out there. Once you get the experience, like I said, now that's baby Maggie coming straight out of nursing school, and that's gonna be for you. If you're straight out of nursing school, you're not gonna come out making $2,000 a week. But if you get the experience, you get the knowledge, you learn, you're humble, then you can make some big money. And especially right now, and with what's going on in the world, and it's going to continue to be this way, I think, for a while. So yeah, so that's just a little bit about nursing and money. And I would just end with saying that if you are in it for the money, then you are in for a rude awakening, because there were days when when they were offering 80 an hour when I was taking a travel nurse assignment, and I was like, I'm good. I'd rather be at home at peace, not getting yelled at, not not doing compressions, not, stressed. They're just, I'd just rather be at home broke. And that was my mantra at the end of my 3 years. I remember telling my best friend, shout out to Jared in nursing, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather be broke at home than at this place. And that's just me being transparent and honest. Because I was just to the point where I was just burnt out. But anyway, so I hope this video helps. And of course, comment below. You can DM me if you have any questions about anything. But and I want to end by saying I love nursing. I would not trade being a nurse for the world. I would not trade it for the world. And I still work in the hospital. That's where my PRN job is. My PRN job is at the hospital. And I when I walked away from it, I missed it. But I love school nursing as well, and I am good right now where I'm at. I know I don't want to do it forever. I definitely don't want to do school nursing forever, but I'm good where I'm at, and I'm good with working at the hospital pretty much when I want to, which is right now about once a month. And it helps me keep my skills up, and it helps me get a little bit of extra money. And, I'm familiar with it because I'm working on my old unit. I know the people. I know pretty much the patient clientele. We're coronary, which I love. So don't get me wrong. I don't hate being a nurse, but bedside nursing burnt me out. And so no matter how much now, with the money and even, with the traveling, when I see 4,000 and 5,000 a week contracts, I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I just would not do it because, it's just tough work, and you just have to be, in a mental space, in a physical state too, to just really, push through and handle it. So anyway, but I just wanted to end that with saying I love being a nurse, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm over here plotting and, in my head on how I can, be better and do better and help more people being a nurse. So I love it, but just don't get caught up in the money. If you're going into it for that, then you're in the wrong profession. And just always remember why you got into it, and always just strive to be happy at the end of the day. Don't do something just solely for the money. And because I feel like when you're in purpose, God will provide. He'll provide a way for you to survive. And I've taken so I've told you I was making $2,000 a week when I was doing travel nursing. So like I said, do the math, 2,000 times 13. And some days, some weeks I made more because I worked a holiday. And so I would be at like 2,300 a week. And so now I'm going from that to, what do I make right now? I only get paid twice a week now. No, twice a month now, only on the 1st and the 15th. It's not every 2 weeks like how it is with a normal job. And I get $1,600 $1,600 every 2.5 weeks. And I'm being very transparent. A lot of nurses won't be transparent about what we make. I don't know why it's such a secret, but about $1,600 every 2.5 weeks. So 39,000 is about where I'm at. So I'm making less than 40,000, where I was making 2,300 a week. Yeah. So I took a huge pay cut. Huge pay cut. But as you see, I'm still thriving. I'm still alive. I'm still surviving. God is good, and I've still been able to pay all my bills. Now I can't shop and do all that stuff that I like to do. I'm definitely on a budget now, but I'm not gonna be here forever. That's how I look at it. I'm not gonna be here forever, and honestly, right now where I'm at, it's just worth being at peace. It's worth being at peace. So anyway, this video is a lot longer than I meant for it to be, but I hope this helped, and of course, feel free to reach out at any point. All right, talk soon. Bye bye.